What's up, vape fam? Finally back doing live streams. Pretty sure everybody in here knows, but I had surgery recently. They took a whole lower lobe on my right side, had a tumor. So wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like small cell carcinoma or anything like that. It's a carcinoid tumor, which mainly just kind of hangs out, and that's about all it does. It doesn't really metastasize or anything like that. They did check for all that and everything came back perfectly clear, so I'm all good. Hopefully they will keep track of it, but finally back. I was in the hospital for about 3-4 days, and then I got out about 3 days earlier than they were expecting because everything was healing up so good. And then the last week has just been me kind of trying to heal up. I'm still extremely sore. I am going to try and do all 3 of these, but if at any point I just get too sore from sitting here or something like that, may have to cut it short, but I'm going to do everything in my power not to do that. What we're going to do today is series builds. I've been anxious to do more series builds since I got this and did the review for the BMV3 from Tower Mods. It just really kicked up the series bug in me. And one of the ones, as far as a series setup that's a stack tube, that I always love is the Dreamer with the Ardent on top. Basically because it hits so much harder than the Dreamer normally would in series setup, because the Ardent screws directly down into the Dreamer. We're also going to do the Pandemic version 1.1, top of the Vert 2, and then we'll do the Asgard 30mm on top of the 1111 Reborn. The thing I like about the 1111 Reborn stack section is being in the middle. It just has the spacer chip built right into it, so you don't have to worry about ever losing that little chip or anything like that. It's just built into the tube itself, so really dig that. Took me a while to be able to really start vaping again when I got out of the hospital. Didn't really do much of it at all, and if I did, it was MTL, and it was very little. And then, I know about 5 days in, I started saying, okay, let's try some Mechs and take small toots here and there. Even the surgeon was not super worried about vaping. He had told me, you know, if you were smoking, I'd tell you don't smoke for a couple of weeks, just quit if you can. He was like, as far as vaping goes, he must have been pretty read up on it. He was kind of a younger thoracic surgeon, but he just said there's no link to vaping and cancer. He was like, any type of foreign particle in your lungs, I'm going to tell you, you probably don't want that. He was like, but like, I can't tell you that this is going to cause a recurrence in your cancer or anything like that. Just go slow if you are going to continue to vape. So that's what I try to do. Kind of jumping into series seems a little weird, but I have not vaped too much in series, and it's not going to be, I'm not going to be blowing huge clouds. I just cannot handle that at the moment. But I did bust out the exhaust fan for the Vaporworks lab just in case it does get a little too foggy in here. See here, Quilliams, you just jumped over from Grimm's stream. Yeah, I figured it'd probably be a little low on the viewership, at least until Grimm's done, and then normally get quite a few people kind of jump over. But let's go ahead and start out. I want to do the Ardent first, basically because it's the biggest pain in the ass to build out of these 3. The other 2 are pretty simple, but the Ardent, kind of being that old school 2-post clamp design, can be a little wonky. All right, so here's the Ardent. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with it, it does have a 510 base, but you can take the 510 pin out, unscrew this base, and it screws directly into the Dreamer. So basically it's just 2-post design, but it does have 4 screws, which makes it a little weird, but it's mainly that way so you can make sure you clamp down on both sets of leg leads extremely well. Like the airflow to this is kind of angled upwards. It works extremely well with series and pretty good with just a standard coil, but I like this RDA best with series setups. Series building is something I ought to get back to. Almost picked up the Ardent just for the hybrid connection. Licious, what's up? I got the well, not email, I get text for USPS saying, hey, this stuff is on the way to me. So I'm anxious to give all those liquids a try. I really, really appreciate that, brother. All right, so all the coils that we're going to use are Ohms coils. Now, Tony P, who does Zero Mods, actually turned me on to these. When he sent me my newest 01, he sent a pair of SFCs from Ohms coils, and I fell in love with them. I've looked up the gentleman's site. I think his name's Liam, if I'm not mistaken. But these are some amazing coils. I got a bunch of aliens and then the series aliens. He sent me some lower series aliens, and I'm kind of saving those for a little bit later. They're a little bit low for me. I think they're 0.26s and normally 0.3s, about as low as I go. So I'm kind of saving them and then see how they do once I fully heal up. But yeah, these are what we're going to use. Like I said, here's these stats to them. NI80 series aliens 0.3, 3 millimeter. So yeah, should work pretty good for all three of these. Here's what they look like. I can get the Ardent out of the way. There we go. Very nice coils. He does absolutely excellent work. All right, so for these, I used to always, and I may do it this time too, kind of bend the legs upwards so it will sink down in there. But starting out, I'm going to try and just put both of these in here, see if I can adjust it enough that I can easily also cut the legs. Only problem with it might be able to do that. Yeah, I think I can bend these legs over enough. I'm gonna pull it out some, about right there. See if we can clamp down on these just enough to bend the legs and cut them. Well, come on now. I'm not a fan of two-post designs like this. Even back in the day, I was not huge on this style. I liked it with certain ones that had multiple inserts if it was two posts, but it had 4 inserts. It was a little different. All right. Try and bend these legs over some so I can get to them and cut them without worrying about cutting the other leg lead. Sometimes I will pre-cut these, but the Ardent, you normally have enough space to kind of bend them and do all that jazz. All right. See there, I'm about to cut that leg lead and I don't want to. All right. It's looking all right. They're in there pretty good. All right. So at the moment, they're coming out to 3.4. I think his plus or minus. Oh, he didn't give a range. He just said 0.3 plus or minus. The ones that I stuck in the Danny here came out exactly to 0.3. So this may be more like 0.31, 0.32. Come on. Sorry, just trying to straighten them up here some before I get too deep into pulsing and pinching. These don't get a lot of hot spots. His coil's just pretty bang spot on. You don't really have a whole lot of hot spots to deal with and trying to work out. That looks pretty good to me right there. I'm gonna grab some wicks. I do not have any Cloud9, unfortunately. That's normally what I would use with a series build, but we're gonna go ahead and use the Ohmzoils. I do have some KGB cotton, but it just takes forever to break in. That lemon tart sounds elite. The lemon tart does sound. I love lemon vapes. That was kind of the one when I heard about it. I think Billy Lee Rice posted a bunch about it, and I was like, I need to try that. I have tried the chocolate eclair, and I love that juice. Chocolate is so hard to get right. And let's just, you nailed the chocolate eclair. Hope everybody else has been doing good. I know I've been going on about surgery and everything else. I hope everybody else is doing good. No illnesses, no nothing. I think I'm sick enough for all of us. Those look like some thirsty coils. I guess we'll find out. Actually, they're not too bad in the Danny V2 and the BM-V3. All right. So with these, you want it fairly long. That might be a little too long, but we'll see. All right. See, we got too much. not enough, or just right. Problem is your airflow is right there, so you got to kind of tuck it down on the side here. I think we're actually pretty good. Airflow is not getting covered up. This one I'm going to cut just a hair. There we go. Yeah, so where your airflow is here, it kind of extends in at an angle, so you got to make sure your wicks are like right beside it, not covering it up at all. But it has a deep juice well, so I'm gonna make sure you got wicks going all the way down to the base. See right there, it's gonna cover up all that, and I don't need that. If I'd left that, it would have covered up a big section of the airflow. Then I always kind of like to go back, make sure the cotton is not on top of that airflow at all. That looks pretty good. All right, liquid for this one. I think I'm going to use my French vanilla custard cream. I dig this liquid, and it should go really good with this. We'll check out what our resistance came out to in the end here. Oh, it went up. That's not good. Went up. Not good at all. Very well could be this Ardent. It also could very well be the 510 pin and the added base. That's better. 0.31. Wasn't clamped down quite well enough. All right. Crank this wattage up a little bit. So yeah, it came out 0.31, but I'd say it's probably closer to 0.3 just because the Ardent has that added base, and the resistance is different when you have it on and when you have it screwed directly onto the Dreamer. It's just always off by about 0.01, 0.02. Hang on just a second. All right. Now it's saying 0.3, so maybe it's just spot on. All right, let's jump back up top. I don't want to kind of fog up my camera a little too soon. Put the top on. We'll vape on this for a minute, and I'll crank the wattage up. And as long as nothing goes sideways, we'll stick it on the Dreamer there and get going with some series vape. Let me crank this up. Do about 115. Let's see how this does. Who all have I missed here? Matthew Woodham, what's up, brother? Ash, how's it going? Chuck Wright, what's up? Moza was the first cotton that you used. I think it was a lot of people's first cotton if they got into rebuildables in the last 3-4 years, maybe even sooner or earlier than that. Yeah, this is working good at 114. Let's crank it up even more. Flavor off of these coils is amazing. For series coils, they have the flavor of just some straight up standard 3mm aliens. All right, so for the Ardent, if you're not familiar, just undo 510, pretty long one, and then the base just screws off, right like that, and then it's direct contact. So grab our spacer chip and some batteries. Come on. There we go. And there we go. I think this thing looks amazing. All right, jump back up top. See how vapes in series. Spicy. Uh-oh, my button's sticking. It's not good. Take this button apart, see what's up. Normally get too much of a sticky button out of the Dreamer switch. Come on. All right. Not sure. Oh, that would be why. There is some copper polish still on one side here. I guess I missed it when I cleaned it up not too long ago. That's definitely what it is. Alright. To do the trick. Slap all this back together real quick. Alright. Hopefully this should be good now. We will find out. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. So yeah, it had a little bit of copper polish still kind of on the inside of the switch housing, and I guess that's where the button itself was getting stuck. It was just a small amount of it, but it was up in the corner pretty damn good. How do you like the switch on the Dreamer compared to the Vert 2 or the Vindicator? The Dreamer has one of my favorite switches. I don't know about the Vindicator is another one that's one of my favorites. I like the Vert 2 and the Tarn Max switch are very similar using those plates. I like them better once you get that dielectric paste off of it or grease. It hits a lot harder once you kind of wash that shit off there. You just gotta be careful, because then you gotta watch out for arc damage a lot more closely. But probably like the Vindicator switch the best out of the three you're mentioning, then the Dreamer, and then the Vert 2. I really like the Vert 2, but I don't know. I have to clean the Vert 2 a lot more frequently than I do the Dreamer switch. And sometimes the Vert 2 switch will stick and like nothing's going on. It'll just be those plates will kind of get stuck to the contact up at the top, and you got to hit it again real quick. Then you clean it, everything's fine, but it happens a lot more frequently than any kind of issue with the Dreamer switch, and definitely way more frequently than anything with the Vindicator switch. Like this right here was my fault, and I can't remember the last time the Dreamer switch ever gave me any real issues. Joshua, what's up, brother? Only thing we've done so far is this right here, the Ardent and the Dreamer. You like the side-fire mechs? I do like a lot of I like more side-fire mechs than I used to. I used to not like them at all. Then I got a Swordfish, and I love that thing. The Atlas, I love that thing. The Chaos, I love that. Even the Prey, I dig the side-fire mechanism on the Prey. But bottom fire switches are probably still my favorite. Even this one right here, the BMV3 with the side fire, I wish you could take the locking mechanism just straight off of the thing and have it not look horrible. Actually, you can't even really do it. It won't fit back together very well. Only mech you own's a topside SQ. That's a damn good one to own if you're only going to own one, for sure. super foggy. Come on now, vent fan. Do your job. All right. That one's working pretty good now that I corrected my polish issue. It hits extremely hard with the Ardent. If you use pretty much any other RDA on top of this in series, it's not going to hit quite as hard. I don't care what coils you got in it. If you put those same coils in the Ardent and put it all together, it's going to hit harder. Side fires are my preference. Getting older now, fingers don't work like they used to. Hey, I could see that. Cloud Chucker, what's up? I'm doing a lot better, brother. Do I prefer Mechs over regulated mods? Yeah, absolutely. There's some regulated mods I really like. The Gower 21 I think is an amazing mod. The original Odin DNA I think is an amazing mod. I do like this right here, the Hadron Plus. But for the most part, I probably vape mechanical mods 90 to 95% of the time. I do use regulated mods more with RTAs, but mech mods are generally what I vape. All right, so I'll let you guys choose. Do you want to do the Pandemic 1.1 and the Vert 2, or the Asgard 30 and the 1111 Reborn? Haven't popped my tube mech cherry yet. Only a few 3D printed ones. There's some really good 3D printed ones out there now. Pretty much anything Snowcap Mods or Zero Mods does. Mowgli, what's up, brother? Asgard for sure. That 1111 is just hefty. It's about the same weight. Actually, it's heavier than the Dreamer with 2 batteries in it and an RDA on top. It's heavier than that. But I really dig the 1111. Well, come on, there we go. My airflow insert wanted to pop out. Definitely pick up a tube if you're looking for one. Best investment I've made in vaping. I would agree. I vape tube mods more than any other mech. Although I do like box parallel mods, and then anything squonk wise, like the SQ from Zero Mods, the T-Gas from Defiant Designs, and Topside SQ, love those. Just got the Cthulhu AIO box and I'm having issues with it. Tastes burnt after a day of new wicking. Any suggestions? Not on the Cthulhu. I'm sure there's people out there that could solve your issue, but I'm not a big fan of the Cthulhu AIO box. I've never gotten any bridge in it to work as well as it would in a billet box or the Pulse AIO or the Stubby. Have you had any broadsides in your time? Me, no. I've messed with them. A buddy of mine has some broadsides. All right. So Asgard 30, I think most people are familiar with this deck. Grab our other 10. Good evening, glad to see you back, brother David. What's going on? I'm glad to be back. If you were to buy one tube mod and never need to buy another, which would you choose? Ooh. That's a tough one. Probably a Vindicator, honestly. Yeah, probably a Vindicator. The Dreamer would be close. That would be the two I would have to juggle, would be the Vindicator or the Dreamer, as long as it's the 1.5. But in the end, if it's the only one, the Dreamer or the Vindicator has a little bit more simplified switch, and the pieces to it would be easy to go out and get as far as the springs and stuff like that. And not everything with the Dreamer switch would be just simple to go buy necessarily if something went sideways. All right. I'll do these, I think, at 5.5. Uno. On the Vert 2, had an original Kennedy Vindicator, hit like a truck without brakes. I don't know. My Vindicator, depending, well, the few that I have, depending on the RDA I've got on top, always hit harder than the Vert 2. The Vert 2 hits hard as all hell, don't get me wrong. But then something like the Ruby is the hardest hitting single battery mech mod I've ever come across, but it kind of should be, considering it's all one piece. But of course, that means you can't change the RDA. Uh-oh. Well, uneven legs here. There we go. Come on. Getting old, my eyes aren't working right. Okay. Make sure they clamp down good. Think that's good. Saying 0.26 at the moment. So these are all tight down good. .29, that's better. All right. Come on now. Sorry, it's I think water in it from where I cleaned it out. Now, some people will do leg leads longer than this and then bend the coils inwards, so you're basically dripping directly on the coil. I always like to have the coil closer to the airflow. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. Says 0.32. I don't know about all that. But it looks like they're clamped down good. Yep, 0.32, that's what we're gonna go with. Alright. Alright. Running 26 of my Saga Mini with the Asgard Mini. Those are the other ones that he sent me were 0.26s. Let's see, Vindicator flashlight. Recommend the 520. 520 is good. The 850 or whatever is a piece of shit. In my opinion. Not a lot of people like it. All right. I think that should do good. Even those out a little bit. All right, for this one, I'm going to use my Vanilla 6 of ice cream liquid. I really dig this liquid. Crank our wattage up. Got some nice crackle to it. All right. Some lot back over here. See if it's still coming out to 0.32. Oh, 0.3 now. A little weird. But it may just be that I needed to crank the wattage up when I was juicing and firing it. And I was just pulsing and pinching the coil a little bit too low. All right, 100 watts. Here we go. That's so good. I love the Asgard 30 with some series coils in it. The flavor off of these Series Aliens blows me away. Because before I tried Ohmzoils Series Aliens, my favorite by far were Twisted Timmy Series Aliens. And I still love those coils, don't get me wrong. But I think these have a little bit better flavor than Timmy's do. And that was a shocker to me because I didn't think anybody was going to be able to make a coil better than that as far as a Series Alien. Oh yeah. All right, that's good. Should work just fine. Grab some batteries here. All the batteries I'm using in these are the P45Bs. And again, I love that with the stack section to this, it's just built right into it. Don't have to worry about losing your spacer chip and then trying to see if another one from a different mech will fit it or anything like that. Just built into it. All right. The thing hits hard as hell. I love this thing in series. I know this is really hard to find right now, but if you don't have the 1111 Reborn, especially with the extension tube, hunt it down, especially if you like series, because this thing hits extremely hard. And even in single battery setup, I love this thing. It's nice and beefy. It's all kinds of fucking heavy. These coils are Crackle City. Again, flavor's on point. Let's compare. Oh my god, this seems so light after you've been vaping with this thing. It's like a damn wrench, that kind of weight to it. The 1111 and the Asgard Mini hit harder than the Dreamer and the Ardent, for sure. I'm sure just by the sound you can tell, although the Ardent kind of muffles any build you put in it. I don't know why it does that, but it definitely does. Yeah, David, I've got the mini on the way. I'm not huge on 30 millimeter RTA, so I went with the mini. I just bought that tonight. I'm anxious to get that thing in. I love what they've done with the juice flow control. Zero S is a monster. That's what I hear. That's the next thing I need to order from Tony P. Although I've been blowing him up about a parallel and seeing if he was going to do a parallel. And apparently it's a little tougher to get exactly right than I thought, at least. I figure if you do a series, you could do a parallel, but no, not really. So he is working on one, he said, but I definitely want one of those Zero S's. The SQ and the 01 I love. Yeah. Everything's silver contact now with Zero Mod. I know when I got the SQ, it was all silver contacts. And then it was like a month later, Tony was like, I'm going silver contacts with everything. It's like, I just decided that today. I was like, okay, cool. That's awesome. Got your set with the Asgard and some SFCs. Nice. Snowballs, what's up? But yeah, I really dig the 1111 and series stack setup. What I'm pumped for is if he actually ends up doing the 30 millimeter Zero SQ. That's what I want. But I also want the, honestly, I need to just order one of everything Tony P makes because they're all damn good. I would have got the B if I liked Boro stuff better. But that's starting to change. I really want to try the Ponte XL. It's built for the stubby. Wasting time. I've got Keen stack in the mail. Hopefully tomorrow. Hell yeah. Keen works good in stack. For sure. Cicero, what's up, brother? Oh, what time is it? Almost 10. Trying to think of other ones that I really like in stack setup. As far as a tube mech, not just a straight series. What I hear as far as straight series, like I've got the Saga Mini and I think that thing hits extremely hard, but everyone keeps telling me the Zero S hits even harder than that. But there's also some stuff from the Philippines that I would love to try out. Done it, bro. 30 millimeter SQ. Yeah, I saw pictures of it. The last time I talked to him, he didn't seem like he was super sure unless there was enough people interested. Because I told him, I was like, you know, I'm down for one. Let's do it. All right. So we'll do the last one. I think I can hang for another hour or so. These are backed out all the way. One thing I don't like about the pandemic is how hard it is to see whether or not everything's backed out well enough or not. I'm not even sure if this... Yeah, it is. Wasn't sure I had the right bit on here. Oh, too much. Come on now. There we go. All right. Whatever happened to Tenacious TX Vapes? Stan just doesn't do vape stuff anymore. That's pretty much it. He's still, like, you can follow him on Instagram, and he's restoring a car. I think he does a lot of that kind of stuff now. I wish he'd come back and do another Dreamer, but it looks like Times Vape is not going to wait around for him. They're just going to do one anyway. So they're already working on the Dreamer V2. And from what I understand from Times Vape, they already have one prototype of it done up. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, the way I understand it, the Vert 3 prototype has been done up for a while. Because you never know how many prototypes they're going to go through before they get it exactly the way they want it. But I would love to see both the Vert 3 and the Dreamer V2. I just hope when they were asking about the Dreamer V2 and what people wanted to see, there's a lot of people that wanted a locking mechanism to the fire switch, and they wanted it like the heavy hitter, and that will ruin the Dreamer V2 for me. I will hate it if they put that shitty locking switch from the heavy hitter on that thing. Is this one uneven again? Just barely. That's the one downside to the heavy hitter for me, is that locking switch. I don't like it. It just eventually slides over and then your fire button gets stuck. Yeah, it's just kind of annoying, really. I like the concept to it, but it just doesn't perform very well without being ridiculously annoying. I didn't figure that one was in there. Not in there at all. Here we go. I'm just being picky. All right. Build space on this looks wild. The Pandemic 1.1, it kind of is. There's no way that's right. So the not grabbing, yeah, it's this one. One thing too with this is it has these huge grub screws, but they still don't like to grab the leg leads very well sometimes. That didn't help. Should have picked a different RDA. I love this RDA, but it's a pain in the ass to get it clamped down just right. All right. All right. 0.29, that's better. Now it's jumping around all over the place. You check the 510 pin on this before I start doing anything else. No, it's fine. And now back to 23. Huh. All right. Back to 0.29. Lord, Lord, Lord. I'm gonna roll with it at that because they look all clamped down good now, but we shall see. Jumped around too much. I don't know about this one. That's just water where I clean the RDA. Sure. 0.31. Guess I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll see. But it's not jumping around anymore, at least. But I swear I think that's more definitely the way this thing clamps down on coils. It's almost like you need more like a 4 wrap to just nail it every single time when you're clamping your grub screws down. Otherwise, you're gonna have to kind of clamp one down, adjust the other. But as long as this doesn't jump around anymore on us, should be fine. Dusty country roads. Later, brother. Osiris on lock, y'all. I'm giddy as can be. Glad a bunch of people ordered that tank up. That juice flow control system looks amazing. I'm definitely anxious to get that mini in. There we go. Not really doing too much of an under action tonight. I don't normally do it with series. I don't know why. I think because I don't want it to be too thinned out with any type of series build. All right, final liquid is my whipped strawberry cheesecake. Making sure it's not jumping around on us at all. I don't like how crooked these two are from one another, but the only way to get it clamped down right and not jump around. All right, let's jump back up top. Crank our wattage up, see how it does. Hopefully it doesn't jump around on us anymore. And I'll feel all right about putting it on the stack too. Vaping just fine. Did you like that under? You know who you are. SC Philippines is going to be my next mod, the Chaos. It's definitely a damn good purchase. I love this thing. This is one of my favorite mechanical mods that I own. Like, I've got an Atlas too with the stack section, but I don't use it all that much. But the Chaos, ever since I've gotten it, I have not stopped using it. Yeah, this seems to be doing good. Let's crank it up even higher. Had it at 102. Let's just put it at 120. Yeah, it's vaping fine. Bust some batteries out for this. Should have, yeah, there we go, spacers in it. Actually, let's do it this way. Come on. There we go. The Vert 2 is extremely good in series setup, I think. There's stack tubes that hit harder than the Vert 2, but the Vert 2 hits hard and is really smooth all at the same time, so I kind of dig it more than some harder hitting ones. Yeah, it's definitely some angry coils in here. Probably pissed I clamped down on them too much. Again, flavor off of these Series Aliens from Ohmzoils is amazing. Easily the best Series Aliens I've ever come across. God damn, it's foggy up in here. The fan's not doing shit. So out of these three, I don't know. The 1111 hits harder. The Vert 2 is a little bit smoother. This is something I could see myself vaping like all day if I was like, hey, I'm in a series mood. This would be something I could easily vape all day. Same with the 1111, but I'd have to be in a particular mood just because it's hitting so hard. The Dreamer with the Ardent is another one I could really vape all day and not have any kind of issues with. But if I was wanting that big series hit, this doesn't quite have it the same way the other two do. This is about on point with the BMV3. They hit about the same kind of strength. But it's still really good. All three of them are extremely good. Go back to the 1111. You can immediately tell this one is the one that hits the hardest. Devs Brody, what's up, brother? For some reason with series, I like stacked tubes better than like a series box mod. Like I said, I've got the Saga Mini and I'm not huge on it. I mean, it's a good series box mod, but I think it's just the fact I'm not huge on series box mods. I don't know why. I think series stacked tubes are just more kind of up my alley, I guess. Now I like the Vindicators in stack as well. I don't know how Birdman does those big like 5-6 extension stacks, but he's had some pretty damn cool ones. That Vindicator one he showed on Instagram was a monster. Yeah, that's extremely good. Out of all these, I'd say the 1111 is probably my favorite. 400 watt psychotic, yeah. Glad to see you're doing well after your surgery, bro. Back in front of the camera. Yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. I wasn't sure I was gonna do anything this quick, but I kind of healed a lot faster than they thought I would. I'm still extremely sore, but and it's weird because I've had a ton of surgeries throughout my life, just having Crohn's disease. I had cancer in one of my kidneys. So I'm going into this, I think I was at 32 or 33 surgeries in my lifetime, and this is by far the most painful. I guess it's because I can't stop from breathing and I can't stop from moving over here. And you know, your ribs kind of expand and contract, and there's just, you're always moving that, so that you can't just stop and get the pain to go away for a moment just to get a little bit of relief. It's pretty much always fucking there. Cicero, yep. Yeah, I've had a bunch of small bowel resections due to my Crohn's, along with just all kinds of other ones that... Chuck Wright, you have a good night, brother. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I've had a ton of surgeries, just mostly with my Crohn's disease. I cannot, my Crohn's is extremely difficult to get into remission or under control. I can't remember the last time it was fully in remission. I was in my 20s. I think I was in my early 20s. But one of the good things with it, I probably never would have caught my kidney cancer or that tumor in my lungs had it not been for the fact that I had Crohn's disease. That's a weird way to look at kind of a silver lining, but they're always doing scans to make sure my Crohn's isn't going haywire or anything like that. And it was a scan for that with both instances that they found tumors. So, and my dad, when he passed away, he had it everywhere. So I think I'm pretty lucky that they found everything that they have. Crazy amount of surgeries. Hopefully your lungs heal up quickly. You're not in pain anymore. Matthew Woodham, brother, take it easy. I appreciate you coming in, man. I know it's like super late for you. Hope it was worth it. Yeah, it's a ton of surgeries. I got used to it, I guess, after a while, but this one, I'm like, God damn, I think it's sore as hell. I was pretty good in the hospital about like expanding my lungs. That was a big thing they wanted me to do. If you've ever been in the hospital for a surgery, they always have you use that thing where you're trying to get the air to come up. You basically have to suck in air, and it has like a buoy that comes up, and there's always like a goal for you to hit, and it's supposed to stop pneumonia. So your lungs expand and all that, and you don't get just a bunch of fluid sitting in your lungs, then you get pneumonia. And if I get pneumonia, it's real bad. It's really dangerous if I get pneumonia. So, yeah, I'm always really good about that one. So this time they were kind of like, how much have you been using that damn thing? Because your lungs are inflated way more than we thought they'd be. So I think that's probably part of the reason why they let me out early. And why I haven't had too much issue with that at all. It haven't been short of breath or anything like that. At least nothing crazy. Is that what it's called, Mowgli? Got me on steroids? No. I'm on a biotic now called Stelara. They had me on steroids for a long time early on when I first got it because there just wasn't any other medicines out there except for steroids and immunosuppressants. But I didn't take to steroids very well at all. I got every side effect in the book. I got insomnia extremely bad. They had to like put me under one time just to get me to sleep. So steroids are not a good fit for me. But once the biotics like Stelara and Humira and all those came out, they worked a lot better. They didn't put me in remission, but they do a lot better at kind of controlling it somewhat. I haven't had them F with my stomach too bad yet, but yeah, I do know that that's definitely a possibility from what I've heard and read. But I mean, my stomach's gonna fuck with me anyway, so. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it at that. This has been a blast. I will have a review. I'll have a review for the new 01 with all the silver contacts and everything up this weekend. Then next week, I'll have a review for this right here, the Pulse V3. I like it, but I don't like it. So that review should be interesting because I normally love the Pulse. But yeah, we'll see. And then I've got the Wasp Nano Pro on the way to me. I've got that Osiris Mini on the way to me, along with some pre-orders. So be plenty of stuff as far as reviews coming. And then I'll try and get more on a regular schedule for live streams and try and do them earlier like this one. So everybody, thanks so much for coming out. I hope everybody had a good time, even with some of the fumbles there, thanks to the pandemic. Vape on, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.